What's up, fellow traders? I wanted to go through Bitcoin technical analysis and kind of catch you up where I'm seeing things headed. I no longer have a position in Bitcoin. I no longer have a position in MicroStrategy, long or short. So I feel like I'm in a position right now to look at these charts without bias and an open mind. So let's dig in here, starting with the weekly chart. Something I've been noticing is that I'm not a huge fan of what's been happening here with volume. We've been seeing this move up happening on declining volume. Break of all-time highs on lackluster volume. It's just not exciting, right? I would love to see some kind of momentum behind this move so that it's not giving me so much pause and wondering if it's actually real or not. So that's kind of a red flag, or at least kind of a warning sign I'm seeing on a higher time frame chart. The other one is we're not really seeing a confirmation of this move with RSI. RSI has failed to go higher with a new all-time high. And that's, again, another kind of orange flag, if you will. It doesn't mean the trend is over, but it does flash some warning signs and say, hey, maybe we should take the foot off the gas a little bit here. So those are two kind of things that I'm seeing. Last week we had a down week. This week's remains to be seen. But let's take it down now to the daily chart and see what we're looking at. The one line here I have drawn is the previous all-time high here at 109,358. We traded above that for one day, and then we kind of puked below it, tried to get above it, and failed for several days. Now we've been consolidating sideways. Something I'm really not loving here is this potential for a kind of head and shoulders type look and feel. And if this is the right-hand shoulder developing here, and a neckline kind of in this area, kind of scary. So could we have something like that where we fall back down to support here? Yeah, why not? Again, I'm not saying this is the base case, but it is something to be aware of and keep tracking as price action develops. So that's what I'm seeing on the daily chart. We still have a lot of cushion here between the moving averages. And you have to wonder, do we close that gap a little bit, trade back into the moving averages and the support before trying to go higher? Or maybe we break down, right? I'm staying open-minded to everything. So let's get rid of those and jump down to the 4-hour chart. This is where things start getting interesting to me on a more granular level. And this is where we're going to start seeing hints of what's to come, whether it's new all-time highs or further consolidation. I do not love the fact that we are clumped up below the 50, which is the green line here, the 50 period moving average, and the orangish one, which is the 100 period moving average. We haven't seen that happen this whole trend higher. The last time we got clumped up was towards the bottom of this big move down. So you have to wonder, are we somewhere in here? That's not going to think a lot of chop and then lower. I'm not making that call. I'm just trying to stay open-minded and see what happens. The reality is we are trapped between the 200 period moving average on the 4-hour chart again, the 200 period moving average here, these other ones, and then the support zone that we were kind of holding, fell down through, and it's offered some serious resistance so far. So until we're back through that, can we get a move where we kind of dip and come through here and up here, and then, and then higher? Yeah, maybe. Definitely something to consider, just kind of chopping higher slowly but surely and getting back to all-time highs. The other potential is we come up here, or we already have, and we fail and head lower down to support down here where we looked at on the daily. So two scenarios that I think right now have equal chance of playing out. In fact, if I had to bet on this, I'd probably be betting to the downside simply because that's where we're trending right now. Until we're through this, you have to consider the short-term trend. I understand the long-term trend is still up, but it's very clear that we're consolidating right now. And if we drop this down to, say, the hourly, something I really don't like is how much time we have been spending below the 200-hour moving average. That's the red line you see here. We haven't been down below it, closing below it for this many hours, consecutive hours, for a very, very long time. You have to go way back in the charts to something like back here in late March to have something comparable. And so the longer we stay below it, the more comfortable price gets below it, it starts normalizing being below that level and it continues to trend down and we continue to trend lower and it just starts becoming kind of stale price action. So what I'm really looking for in the short term is getting back above this resistance level. And it looks like that's what we're trying to do, right? We have the 50 and the 100-hour moving averages curling up, trying to push us up through the 200. So if we could get something like this, where we push up here and then come back down, imagine the 200-hour moving average, offer some support there as well, and then we can use that as kind of a launch pad higher. So obviously, lots of different scenarios. I think it's hard to take a stance one way or the other right now. I'm not calling for all-time highs, 120, 150, etc. I'm also not calling for 50, 60, 70,000 either. I think more correction would be healthy, but until price breaks either this lower bound or up through this resistance right here, I think it's really hard to take a side one way or the other. So I would just recommend continuing to monitor short-term price action. And by short-term, I mean 15-hour, 4-hour charts before committing to anything longer-term like the daily or weekly. That's all I have on Bitcoin. I'm on the sidelines. I'm waiting for price to show us the direction. And I'll update this more either with another video or on Twitter. Follow me at Travis Bazorek.